Hello guys, we are going to be learn about the scorch loop. We have some use cases where we can use scorch loop. First one is a retry operation if they fail. Second is a wait condition for 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And another use case is when you want to be travel on a data or activity of your scorch on a branches, right? So in that case you can use your scorch loop. There are three types of loop in a scorch. First one is an activity loop, second is your array loop, and third your script loop. So we are going to be learn about activity loop. Now you can see these are the activity in right hand side in different category. So each activity create a loop. You just have to enable that and make the condition for that. How you can configure and how you can create a loop for this activity. For example, I will drag this get computer IP status activity and I have dragged, and first of all before that I will enable the logging. Click on logging section and enable, finish, and here you have to enable loop for this. How you can enable? Right click on it and you will see here looping. In each activity you will see this loop, right? And click on it and now you can see here enable, right? And here you have a delay between attempts. So you know one iteration is get success, you have to be travel for second iteration. So how many seconds you want to be delay between these iteration? So for example, I want to be delay for 2 seconds. You have an exit and do not exit for loop. So here when you click here exit, you will see the status of your activity. This is your activity name and return success, and this activity exit from the loop when your activity gets success. So let's see, and we have to configure this. I have not configured here, so you have to put the IP here. So how this activity will work? This will send the ping request to your computer, whatever you will put here, and that computer send the acknowledge, right? So this is the way how this activity work, right? If your server is turned on, then it will send the acknowledge, otherwise that will not send acknowledge, your activity will fail. So let me show you. I have created a server on a Google Cloud. So this server, scorch server, is also on a Google Cloud. So I have created already there. Now you can see Win instance 2, which is currently in stop mode, right? And this is the IP. Let me copy this IP, copy and come back here and paste. So I have pasted here IP and finish it. So what this will do, when I will run this continuously, run this activity every 2 seconds. So let's run it. Now you can see your activity has got failed, so it will retry after 2 seconds. So continuously it is retry. So when this will come out from loop, when this server turn on, right? My server is not turned on, so you don't want to goes to infinite loop. How you can make the limit and threshold for that? You just want to be retry these conditions for 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 minutes. How you can make this condition? Just stop it, right click, loop, and come here. Now you have a one condition, which is the status of your activity, which is failing, but you don't want to go into infinite loop. How you can solve this problem? So you have to be add one more condition, and here you have to change your publish data. So click here, show common publish data. You have a loop total duration, right? So click this one, and here you can put greater than and less than as per your requirement. I am putting here greater than. So this should not wait 10 seconds, right? So this is my second, whatever number I will put here, that read as a second. So this is your threshold and limit. This will not goes to infinite loop. After 10 seconds it will terminate, right? Finish it, and let's check in and run it. So it is running and retrying again and again, and whatever threshold we have put, that has been made. Click on it. Here now you can see 1 2 3 4 times this activity was retried, right? And now you can see here time, which we have put the time out. Now you can see here 40 and here having a 55. So what is the difference here? Time 10 seconds, right? So after this is my timeouts. So how you can solve the infinite loop using this condition? If you are not sure about how much you want to be paid for that, so you can make another condition also to solve the infinite loop. Click here, exit, and instead of this published data, you can make the condition on a. Now you can see here loop number of attempt, how many attempt you want to be put. For example, you want to be attempt only 5 times, otherwise you don't want to be attempt your operation. So here you can make the condition also on it. And for example, I want to be attempt only 5 equal, and then here you can put your attempt, how many attempts you want to be try on this activity, otherwise you don't want to be attempt. Check in, run it. Now it is retrying and goes to looping. These activities come out from loop. Now you can see fail activity 1 2 3 4 5. We have put this threshold because this activity will not go into infinite loop, right? Therefore I put that condition. So like that you can create activity loop. And let's come second use cases where you can use this activity loop. Now you can see activity, get activity service, and append activity. Let's configure this localhost paint spooler. I have selected the service paint spooler. You can select any service as per your requirement and come back, and here now you can see I will select here file in which I want to be put some data. Here having an output which is empty, and I want to put here hello and finish. So this is my configuration which I have put it here. What this activity will do, this will get the current status of this service, right? So now you can see this is my task manager. Here you can see spooler status is in stop, right? And I want to be append the status. I want to be append this hello when this service is running, right? Otherwise I don't want to be append. So this activity should be put into a loop. How I can put? Right click, looping, enable. I want to put 3 seconds only in each iteration. Here I want to put the exit when this will come out from loop. So success status, I don't want to be put here condition on a activity status. I want to be make the condition on a service status. Now here you can see what would be the value of this service and stop, service and running. Like that your data would be right of this variable or published data, right? Select get service, and here I will put the running. So this is the condition. When this condition become true, it should be contained, right? When this condition become true, it will come out from loop, and next activity will be run. Check in, run. Now it is running, continuously running, because our service is not running. So for that I will manually start this and it will become true condition, come out from the loop. Now that has been executed. Click here. Now you can see get service how many times was run. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. At 9 iteration it got running status of this particular service, and this activity was execute only one time when this condition become true, which we have created on this activity get service status, right? So this is running only one time. So if you want to see that, here you can also put here another like a published variable. You can also use here, right click, publish, and here I want to be append service publish data and finish. So it is in running state, and this time I will make another condition. Instead of a running, I want to make the condition on a stop. Loop exit running. Instead of running I will put the stop. Finish check-in. Now you can see what is the current status of this service is running. So it will wait until this become stop. Let's run it. Now it is running. Stop this service and this become condition true, come out from loop. And now let's see history. Now you can see 2 to 4 6 times this was run, and sixth time it's got stop, right? And it has it append the service name, right? And let's come out the array loop. Array loop, it is use array loop. How this will be configure array loop? So this is my read line activity, and now here I have to be select the input file. So I have select the input file. Here I have some data written, right? And here I want to be read line 1 to 3, and second is append. Here I will append, for example, let's in which file I want to be append, output file I want to be append. And what I want to be append here, hey, finish. I'm not creating an arrow loop here. Run it, refresh. Now got success. Now you can see this read activity and append activity run only one time, right? And when you create array loop, how you can create an array loop? When this click here, and here you have an, I'm going to use the publish data of previous activity, right? Publish data, and here I will use text, right? So now you can see this variable having an array, so it should be execute as number of size of this variable or published data. So what would be the size of this array variable or published data? 3, because we are reading 3 lines in this activity. So this become, this activity will put into a loop. How? Let's see. Check in, run it, refresh. Now got success. Now you can see here read line activity ran one time and append activity ran 3 times, because the size of a published data that you are using in a append line activity, that is a 3, therefore it is running 3 times. This is an array loop. How you can configure? Suppose if you are reading 4 lines from this file, so it will execute 4 times if you are using that published data in this activity, and others whatever activity would be after this, that should be execute as number of this activity execute. If you don't want to be execute as number of size of your published data that you are using in this, so how you can overcome this? So you have a click here, and run behavior you have to be flatten, make it a one string to that, flatten, and each data is separated by comma, whatever you will use, and finish you can use that string in a next activity. Check in, refresh. Now for success, now you can see this time append activity is running one time because we have flattened the array data which we are using. If you are getting the record from the database that the number of row having a, if you are using that published data in a next activity, then your next activity will be run as number of your record, right? So this is your array. And the last one, that is an script loop. You can use that loop here in a run.net script. In whatever language you will be used here, in that you can use your loop.